Well, hey everybody, it is Monday. That means it's check-in Monday. Grateful to have you with me on tonight. On this day, it's March 14th. Can you believe it? Time seems to be rolling. Excuse me, it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling on. But here we are again on check-in Monday. Let me put everything and get everything where I need it to be tonight. And we're going to work this. And I'm getting some stuff together. You see, I got a new setup basically, and just working it, make sure it's working, and getting it right. That'll work. All right. Here we go. All right. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining. I see our church mother, Mother McDaniels, Sister Whitehurst. Let's see. Sister Austin. See you here. Yeah, Pastor Long. God bless you. Sister Adams. God bless you. Good to see y'all here on tonight. All right, we're going to jump right into our subject and topic tonight. Promise not to be long. Please let me know wherever you are viewing from, watching us from. If it's your first time, please let me know. Before I get started, y'all do me a favor and do this. I need you to like, comment, and share. I want you to do this right here. That's right. Do that right there. I need you to like, share, and comment tonight, and just share it with those that maybe need to hear this. Well, let me jump right in tonight as we are doing this. We're doing it live, but we're also making our podcast, which we play, and I don't have the information. I should have it up, but I'll get that information to you. I think I posted it last week in the comment section. Some of you went and followed me on my podcast where we deal with different subjects and matters. So I want you to do that. Please do that. Follow me on the podcast where we are sharing. Tonight, let me get into this. Excuse me. Let me share with you. Tonight, I want to talk to you about it's time to recognize how blessed we are. I want to talk to you about tonight how recognizing how blessed we are. And I believe that all of us need to pay attention to how blessed we are. You know, when we look at it, we have come through 2 years into a pandemic that we were not expecting. And most of us, we're still here, even though some of us went through the areas of the pandemic, through the coronavirus, COVID-19, and through various things. We lost loved ones, but we're still here tonight. We're still here. And so when we start thinking about that and understanding that, we begin to think and say to ourselves that we are just grateful to God to still be in the land of the living, to still be here. And so after 2 years of being in this pandemic, and actually March, today is the 14th, March 15th. I remember 2 years ago was the last time that before we went back into in-person worship, we were out almost 2 years. Just that 15th of March was that last service, 2020. And then we went back in the latter part of 2021. But God has blessed us and we're grateful. And so when we think about it, again, it's time to recognize how blessed we are. We've come through, again, 2 years of a pandemic, COVID-19, losing loved ones, losing people, and God has blessed us to be here and still be in the land of the living. So that is a blessing. So let me share with you tonight about recognizing how blessed we are, being able to recognize the blessing of God in our lives. Number one, we must take a moment and look around and recognize how blessed we are. I think many times we don't really take time to look around and see how blessed we are. My uncle wrote a song years ago, used to sing a song, "Look around and see all of his blessings." And sometimes we don't take time to look around to recognize how blessed we really are, because so many times we are complaining and finding fault, and we're talking about what we don't have and what someone didn't do for us. And so many times we need to sit down and sort of pause, take a posture where we relax and take a moment and look around and begin to recognize the blessing of God. The writer said, the psalmist said, I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. He says, look, I would have fainted. I would have given up. I would have thrown in the towel had not I looked to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. That means you got to take time and look around, because you'll be fainting at some of the stuff you see going on. But he says, I would have fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I had to take time and pause and look around me and take a moment to see how good God had been to me. And somebody tonight, I'm talking to you in the next few moments that I'm going to be here, that we need to just stop. Think back. I mean, we talk about before the pandemic, but look at in the pandemic how good God has been to us. And we've got to recognize that every day we get up, it's a blessing from God. Every day that we're functioning, every day that we're moving, it is a blessing from God. And we are yet here in the land of the living. And so we must take a moment to look around and recognize how blessed we really are. Number two, and I think this is one of the most important ones that I'll deal with tonight, is we must stop trying to determine our blessings by looking at others. I'll say that again for those in the back. We've got to stop trying to determine how blessed we are and our blessings by looking at others. Many of us, the reason discouragement sets in is because sometimes we get to the place that we do not look and see how good God has been. We are so busy looking at other people and what we think they have and what blessings we think they got, that we sort of get discouraged and sort of feel like, God ain't doing that for me. Yes, he is. He's blessing us. But we are so busy looking at everybody else and what they're getting, what they got. We're focusing on everyone else's blessing. Sometimes we might as well admit, sometimes you feel some kind of way when somebody else gets a blessing. You should be rejoicing. We should be rejoicing with them. But sometimes you can feel some kind of way. You can get in your feelings and you can start saying to God, I know I'm living right. I know I'm doing this. And you ain't blessed me with this. You ain't blessed me with a new church. You ain't blessed me with a new car. You didn't bless me with a new home. You didn't do this. And so we start looking at and determining how blessed we are by measuring our blessings against somebody else's blessings. Somebody going to talk to me tonight in here, I believe. We start trying to determine how blessed we are by measuring our blessings up against somebody else's blessings. We start saying to ourselves, God didn't do that for me and this, and that's where that discouragement gets in. That's where it sets in. That's why you start feeling some kind of way, is because you're trying to mirror and look and see, my blessing is here, but look what they got. And you don't even know if they're even enjoying what they have or if they can even afford it when it comes to material things. You don't even know if that makes them happy. You may not have the mansion, but you got joy. You may not have the mansion, but you've got health. You may not have all the other stuff, but you got peace of mind. You've got something in you, and you're blessed with a family and all that. And so sometimes what we end up doing is we sort of like almost get to the place that look like we want to trade places. The thing, trading places, like if I could trade what I got for what they got, and you don't even know if that's making them happy. So the first thing we got to do when we recognize our blessings is we've got to stop trying to determine our blessing by looking at others and their blessings. I'm grateful for what they have, but I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed when I look around. I got a roof over my head. I got food to eat. I got money if I need to buy something. And so I know I'm blessed. And so I can't look at somebody else and then say, well, I ain't blessed like they are. A blessing is a blessing. Lord, I need y'all to get this. A blessing is a blessing. And God, he blesses us in different ways. But when he blesses us and it's already done. Some of you are blessed right now while you're watching me, and you don't even understand how blessed you are and how favored of God you are. And God has already blessed you tonight. And so we need to start recognizing, look around. Start looking around and say, you know what? I'm blessed. And I'm blessed because God says I'm blessed, and I'm blessed because I feel the blessing of God. So again, let me repeat this because I think it's worth saying this again. We must stop trying to determine our blessing by looking at others. What they have is good. What they have is wonderful. Celebrate with them, rejoice with them. But don't ever count yourself short as to feel God's not blessing me because I don't have what they have, or it does not measure up in our minds. Watch this. It does not measure up in our minds to what we think we got. That's a lot of times that's on us, because we figure. I'm gonna prove it to you. We figure if I don't have a Mercedes and they got a Mercedes and I've got a Toyota, we feel to ourselves, well, you know, they got that Mercedes and I got a Toyota. It don't match up. Let me ask you a question. I just need to ask you. Does the Toyota get you to work? Does it get you to the store? Are you able to get where you need to get to? Then count your blessings and stop complaining. Count your blessings. Stop complaining. Then we need to understand, and I'm almost done, I'm not going to be long tonight. We must recognize that there are many forms of blessings. See, we've got it in our mind that the only blessings that come are cars and houses. Those things are good. I'm not disputing, not down in that. But we think these tangible things, these things, we count those as blessings. When we start talking about blessings, that's what we're talking about. But God blesses us in so many different ways. He just don't bless us in one way. There's many forms of blessings. We just, I'm blessed. Scripture says in Deuteronomy, blessed in the city, you were blessed in the field. Blessed the cattle, the body, your body. He blesses us in so many different ways that we think we're just blessed one particular way. Matter of fact, my iPad sort of died. Let me see, can I pull it up on my phone? Because I need you to see this. I need you to get this tonight and to recognize this, because I think it's very important for us to get it. Let me see. Where is that? Deuteronomy. Yeah. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 28, he starts talking about being blessed and trying to explain how blessed you may be. And again, there's different forms of blessing. It's not just one. A house may be a blessing. A car may be a blessing. Raise on the job may be a blessing. That's a blessing, but that's not the only form of blessing. He says, if you will obey me, he talked to them. He's all these blessings shall come and overtake thee if thou will hearken unto the voice of the Lord. Notice what he says. I'm Deuteronomy 28, verse 3. Blessed shall thou be in the city. Blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. Not just your money, not just your house, but the fruit of your body, the fruit of thy ground, the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thine kind, and the flock of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy baskets and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou cometh in, and when blessed shall thou be when thou goeth out. And so he gives, and he starts listing all of these blessings, and some of them have nothing to do with money, have nothing to do with what we think. So we got to start recognizing that there are many forms of blessing. If you've got good health looking at me tonight, that's a blessing. Are you listening at me? If you're not in the hospital right now, that's a blessing. If you got your right mind, that's a blessing. Talk to me, somebody in here. You got your right mind, that's a blessing. You've got the activity of your limbs, that's a blessing. You can feed yourself, that's a blessing. You know your name and where you live, that's a blessing. There have been people that have left their house going one place, and their family had to find them, and they end up finding them 2 or 3 days later, wandering somewhere, and they couldn't even remember where they were going or what happened to them. So if you if you got a blessing, God's got many ways, many forms of blessing us. And we need to understand that. Don't ever think, well, the only blessing I got, he didn't give me no money. That's one way. But then he's got other ways he can bless you. And I tell you, after my bout with COVID-19, I thank God for health every day. Because I be saying to myself, Lord, you know, I could have been one breath away from not being here. And then even after I got out the hospital, it took me a while to get my lungs back and my voice back to even being forceful to talk like this. So what are you saying? I'm saying to you to understand that we have to recognize that there are many forms of blessings. And we just can't look at one and say, well, that's just a blessing right there. Count them all. Enjoy them all. You ladies that have had babies, and those of you that may be expecting, count it a blessing that you can have a baby. They were just showing a young lady the other night. This was a couple of years ago. Went in for have a baby and to have a C-section, and never came out. Her husband said she never came out. Others I know have went in for operations and never came out. It's a blessing to be able to come out. It's a blessing to be able to see God bring you out of things. And so start counting your blessings. If you can walk, I know people can't walk. I know people that have had strokes, people that things have happened, they can't even function. It's a blessing. Every day you get up and walk, you ought to thank God. Every day you fix a steak, every day you fix a sandwich, you ought to thank God. You need to be thanking God and saying, you know what? I thank God. And when I look at the timelines of many people that are passing, when I start looking at people that are born in 57 and born in 61 and 72 and 79, and I see them passing, and I'm saying to myself, that's young. So it's a blessing every day to get up and be alive. You ought to take life every day and say, Lord, I just thank you for being alive today. I recognize this blessing. I'm not going to sit up and do like the children of Israel did and murmur and complain and find fault. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to thank you for every form of blessing that you give me. And I want you to get that. Recognize every blessing that he gives you. Well, no matter how it comes, no matter which form, don't ever reduce your blessing just to a house, a car, and some money. We need those things, but there's so many other things that God has blessed us with. Because I know people that got cars and don't even know that they got a car. I know people got homes and they in the hospital or somewhere can't even live in the house. I know people that they got stuff and they can't even respond mentally. Why? Because of the fact that, you know, they were looking at it from one way. just when I think of blessings, I don't think of one or two. I think over the overall picture, how good God has been. When I can get out of my bed, when I can, oh my God, when I can get out of my bed and just be here giving God praise, I thank God. I recognize that the blessing of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow with it. Now, when you hear that, first thing people run in their mind, blessing of the Lord maketh rich. They think of money, houses and stuff. But the blessing of the Lord maketh rich in every area of your life. The blessing of God maketh rich in every area of your life. And it addeth no sorrow with it. So tell yourself, as I said, number 3, we must recognize that there are many forms of blessings. All right. Number 4, and I'm getting ready to close. I want you to start counting. We need to start counting our blessings that God gives us every day. Did you not know every day we get a blessing? You may not put it in a journal. You may not put it in a log. You may not even post it on Facebook, YouTube. You may not post it nowhere. But every day we need to count our blessings. I can count them right now. I can start counting my blessings, not for yesterday. I can count my blessings for today. What do you mean? Today. I can name out the stuff he did today. Woke me up this morning. The alarm clock didn't do it. Woke up, was able to go out and made it back home. Was able to be in my right mind. The activity of my limbs. Blood still running warm in my veins. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Recognizing how blessed we are. Just look around and say, you know what? It's been a good day today. Somebody say, I ain't had no good day. I'm sorry. I've had a good day today. Even if something didn't go the way I thought it should have went, I've had a good day. The reason I've had a good day, because God all day long kept on blessing me in every area. Could have been in an accident. A whole lot of stuff could have happened today. But I started counting my blessings. They used to say, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings and see what the Lord has done. Has he blessed you today? Have you told him thank you for it? Has he blessed you today? Have you recognized the blessing of God today? Start counting your blessings. Then every day, we got 2 more and I'm done. Every day we should say to ourselves, I'm blessed. That should be a routine. That should be an everyday occurrence. I am blessed. I am the blessed of God. And I recognize it. I'm not going to sit up here and be finding fault. I'm not going to sit up here and be murmuring and complaining. That's what got the children of Israel in trouble. God says, I got an issue with you all. Well, what's the issue, God? Is after all the stuff I've done for y'all still complaining. All the blessings I've given you, out of all the stuff that I've given you, you still complaining. God said, I don't get it. I'm bless y'all so much, and you still complaining, still finding fault, still you're not happy. In other words, sometimes I think God said, I can't satisfy you. I bless you with this, and you still complaining. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Some of us, we know, have you ever seen people like that? No matter what God has done for them, they still complaining about it. And you need to be thanking God just for the fact that you still here, that you still in the land of the living, that God has still blessed you. And so every day you got to tell yourself, I am blessed. Look at what you got in your house and start saying, you know what, I'm blessed. You got to change your mentality, and you got to change your approach to how you speak about your blessings. In other words, if I go into my kitchen and I don't have anything to eat, and this is how our foreparents used to do it, really. And when our foreparents, we were coming up, we didn't have all the fancy stuff we got now. We had, they may give us some bread with bologna, and they fry the bologna and do a little red thing around it. You pull it off around it, and they put some mayo on it, and then they put it between two slices of bread. We didn't have no sodas. We didn't have all that. They get that Kool-Aid and pour it and make a jug full of Kool-Aid and pour some sugar in it and put it in the refrigerator and let it cool off, let it get cool. That's how we did it. Come on. And we were just as happy as we can be. We didn't have steak dinners every day. We didn't have lobsters and lobster tails. We didn't have all this stuff. And now God has blessed us. We can almost eat what we want to eat, drive what we want to drive, be where we want to be. And God said, after I've given you all that, you still complain about what you don't have. And I wish I had. God has said, are you kidding me? You should be thanking me for every blessing I've already given to you. Stop complaining about what you don't have and thank God for what he has given you. Life and that more abundantly. Blessings and favor when you go in the marketplace. It's a blessing. So we've got to start saying, I'm going to count my blessings. I'm going to name them. I'm going to say them. And I'm going to not compare my blessings to anybody else. Let me tell you something. I'll never forget one time, and a friend of mine, and it had nothing to do with him. He just wanted me to see his house, and I was fine with that. And he showed me his house. He took me through his house. It was late one night, and I went to church, and so he said, I want to show you. He said, come go with me. So I went with him, and he drove me to his house. It was a fabulous house. When I tell you it was nice, it was nice. I was walking down the hallway. I thought I was walking down a football field or something. Had opened the door, and I didn't know what we were getting into. The elevator took me up to another room. Gym in the house. Big, long swimming pool. Got a table that could seat, look like 20 or 30 people. Just a nice house. Garage and everything. And took me to this house, and I wonderful house. It was. And I got back in my car and came back to my house, right where I'm living now. And when I walked in, the first thing I said, Lord, I thank you for blessing me with what I have. I enjoyed seeing their blessing. But God, I don't want to, what's the right word to use? I don't want to insult you by sitting here complaining and comparing my house to the house I just seen. Because when I got in this house, you blessed me to get into it. It was a miracle for me to get here. So I will not insult you by comparing that house to mine and feeling that you have somewhat neglected me because of what you gave them. God hadn't neglected us. And you stop letting people use these little buzzwords. Lord, I got to get out of here because I'm about to get in trouble showing up if I say this. You stop letting people use these little buzzwords when they're trying to make you feel a certain kind of way. What's wrong with you all is y'all are living beneath your privilege. What does that mean? You living beneath your privilege. If God is blessing me, how can I be living beneath my privilege if he's blessing me? And every day he's doing stuff. Evidently, whatever he wants me to have, I'm going to get it. So I'm not living beneath anything. Because if I start talking that way, then I insult God and I disregard what he's already done for me. He's blessing me every day. And so I will not insult God by putting my blessing and their blessing next to each other and then talking about we living down here. God promised me in Deuteronomy, he said, you shall be the head and not the tail. You shall be above only and you won't be beneath. So I can't subscribe to that. I can't grab that and make that a part, trying to make it sound spiritual. What's going on? I'm living beneath my privilege. No, I'm not. Every day God is blessing me, and every day he's giving something, and every day I can look back on something that he's done. Every year, not just days, every year I can look back and say, God has did this, God has did that. I can look back and tell you miracles of things he's done and stuff that I have that I know I shouldn't have gotten. And when I say I shouldn't have got it, I didn't have the money for it. In some cases, didn't have the credit for it. But God gave me favor and gave it to me. So when I think of that, I'm blessed. And I've got to recognize the blessing. If you got health, you're blessed. Your right mind, you're blessed. You feed yourself, you're blessed. Dress yourself, you're blessed. Got to move your fingers, it's a blessing. So start recognizing how blessed you are. Let's start saying we're blessed. I mean, and I ain't gonna let you talk me out of thinking and knowing I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. And you got to walk like you know it. You heard the thing on TikTok that they went crazy with, my sister Sean. You got to act like you know. And you got to know you're blessed, and I've got the blessing of God on my life. Well, I pray and trust that this has blessed you tonight. I want you to go to the rest of this week recognizing the blessing of God. Look around you. Go through your house this week and look at stuff that you got. I got so much stuff. I need to put some of it in storage. Stuff God has blessed me with, he just keeps on blessing. And you know, how do you know when you're blessed? Is when you run out of room for the stuff you got. I'm going to say that one more time because y'all need to get this. How do you know you're blessed? When you literally run out of room for the stuff you got. That scripture comes to mind. I'll open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive. Some of us, we have to admit, we ran out of room. And the reason we ran out because the blessings keep on flowing. And so what God has to do is make more room for us. And guess what he does? Turn around and keep on blessing us with more. And so we're blessed of God and we're favored of God. Let's pray. Father, I thank you and I praise you for those that are watching tonight. Those that will watch, I pray that you bless them and help us to recognize that we are blessed. God, help us to see our blessing. God, help us to be able to name it, count it, put our finger on it. Let others know we're blessed. We've got the blessing of God. We are the blessed of God. And we have the favor of God in our lives. God, let us not compare our blessing to somebody else's blessing. You bless who you want to, and you bless us with what you want us to have. And we thank you, God, for every blessing. I thank you every day for life. I thank you every day for strength. I thank you every day for my right mind. I thank you every day that I'm able to walk. I thank you every day I'm able to feed myself. I thank you. God, I visited people in the hospital that didn't even know I was there at the hospital. I visited people in the hospital, God, that couldn't even open their eyes. But I thank you. Every morning you wake me up. Every day you allow me to see the sun. And I thank you. And I give you praise. Thank you for our families. You blessed us with families. You blessed us with those that love us and care about us. God, help us not to allow people to make us to complain. Help us not to allow people to make us to find fault with you and to insult your blessing that you've given to us. Help us to keep it on, and keep on saying we thank you for your blessing. Thank you for blessing me. Thank you for blessing me. I get teary-eyed every time I think about it. How you brought me out of that hospital. God, laying on my stomach trying to breathe. God, laying there and the doctor saying you maxed out. You're not even breathing on your own. But thank you, God. You brought me out and brought me back here. And I count it as a blessing. And every day I thank you for my blessings that you've given to me. I pray that you would help us, encourage us to love you, to appreciate you, and to tell you thank you for your blessings. I'm through tonight. Let me say this, and I'm done. I want you to remember, whatever you do, don't go to bed without telling God thank you. And then don't get up without telling God thank you. And then periodically, all during the day, just say, Lord, I thank you. And I want to tell you, you recognize your blessings, recognize what God has done for you, and I'll leave this with you. If you thank him for what you got, thank him for what you have, I want to tell you that thank you makes room for more. The Lord bless you. Do this again. Please share. Please let somebody hear this word that may be feeling they're not blessed. Let them hear it. I'm blessed and I know I am. Yay, glory. I'm able to, oh my God, what a blessing. Lord bless you tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm out. I'm getting out of here. I want you to know we'll be back on next week. And let me also say to you, if you want to join us tomorrow night, those of you that are watching, you come check in Monday. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have Bible study. I'll be right here teaching tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. Be with us tomorrow night, and we'll be sharing with you. Thank you again for joining. The blessing of the Lord be upon you, and we bless you in the name of the Lord.